Raise your hand if you ever made a promise to be on time for a meeting and were late. Have you ever made a promise and broken your word? Now tell me, what is the first thing you did when you were late? Did you give a reason, maybe? Maybe you felt bad. You said, I was sorry. Why do we do that? We've been taught that integrity is the same as a moral virtue. And we all absolutely abhor being thought of as a person without moral virtue. But what if integrity had nothing to do with being good and everything to do with whether your life was workable? I know that this is a hot button topic because everyone relates to this at a very personal level. So for the next 17 minutes, I'm going to invite all of you to take a little walk with me. Set your personal view aside and consider what I'm going to offer you like a possibility, like an experiment. What would it mean if we saw integrity from a different perspective, and what would it impact organizations? What if we redefined integrity as all about workability, about being operationally whole and complete in a way that allows for everything that we are engaged with to work exactly as we intended it to? Research published in Harvard Business School norm papers by researchers Erhard, Jensen, and Zaffron reframed integrity as not morality, but as a non-negotiable factor of organizational performance. They redefined integrity as workability, as being whole and complete and functioning exactly as designed and intended. And they explained it with the analogy of a bicycle wheel. A bicycle wheel is whole and complete and works as designed when all its spokes are intact. Now remove one spoke, it'll still continue to function. Remove 10, now maybe it'll start wobbling. Keep removing them, it'll collapse. It is no longer workable. It's like gravity. It's not good. It's not bad. The wheel is not immoral. It just is. The loss of integrity erodes workability and performance degrades. The Harvard papers reframed organizational performance and success as an effective execution of promises. And they found that high-performance organizations are comprised of individuals who are living, being, and executing upon their word and promises exactly as declared and within the time frame that they promised. And they also found that the commonly held view of integrity as morality creates a unique problem. When we think of integrity as a moral virtue, we become afraid of it because morality carries judgment. Good, bad. Right, wrong. If integrity means that I am a good person, then breaking my word may be interpreted as I am a bad person. People hesitate to commit. They avoid giving their word. They protect their image instead of their word. Or they give conditional promises. They give lawyer-like promises. If the sun is at this angle and the moon is there and there's a comet on the horizon, I'll do this for you. I was late because of traffic. I missed the deadline because I got busy. I did not call because I was overwhelmed. People conduct their lives as if being late because you were caught in traffic behind a school bus is somehow morally superior to being late simply because you didn't care to be on time. The reason really doesn't matter, does it? The impact on the business is the same. When a plane is late, passengers miss connections. When a leader breaks his promise, trust is eroded. When a system collapses, cascading failures follow. A car without structural integrity will break down in traffic, creating a rippling cascade of broken commitments for all its occupants and every business and person who depended upon them. And what is true for a vehicle is equally true for the word that is given between people. It's not about blame, it's about workability. Now, I run a busy medical clinic, and like all healthcare organizations, I deal with the highest stakes: health issues, life and death decisions, fear, scarcity, pressure. And I came across the Harvard research papers on integrity when I was a hospice director and chairman of the local hospital. And I saw how my staff, doctors and executives, were behaving with regard to their commitments and their word. And what I realized was, in organizations, every expansion of members and complexity requires a higher order of integrity to continue functioning at the new level. A 2-person startup can get by with informal promises. Expand to 5 people, now alignment matters. Grow into multiple offices, breakdowns multiply. Expand into multiple cities. Scaling complexity without scaling integrity is like putting weight on this wheel while you're removing the spokes. The broken commitments erodes workability and the system will collapse. So I decided to put this to the test in my clinic, but within a contextual framework that we called the 3 Musketeer principle. I sat down with my staff and we decided to see what would happen if we began to treat integrity as an operational condition of workability rather than a moral imperative. We made a simple rule: I am my word, and when I break it, I simply acknowledge it, I broke my word, and then I assess the impact. I ask, what was the impact? Can I clean it up? And then I restore integrity. I recommit to my word. That's it. No shame, no guilt, no stories. Simply acknowledge, assess, restore. At first, this felt very weird. Consider what we were trying to do with what normally goes on between people. Somebody is late and the stories begin. I'm really sorry. I did want to be on time, but you have no idea. Traffic today was murder. And it was horrible trying to get the kids off to school. They knocked over the waste, water all over the carpet. It was a mess, and I was on my hands and knees cleaning it all up. My morning has been terrible. Now, what was it that we were planning to do today together? Now, how many of you would like to hear more promises from me after that? I didn't think so. But if I came and I said this, hey, I promised I would be here at 9. It's 9:30, I'm late. Is there anything I can do to clean up the consequence and impact of my being late? What would you think would be the effect if I did that? Now, let me tell you. We did that. And we found something extraordinary. People began to be freer to give their word, because it was no longer about looking good or being good. It was about keeping the system whole. We didn't become better people. We became more reliable. And that reliability produced the real good that everyone wanted to be a part of. Authenticity is how people see an individual who is consistently acting with integrity regarding their word. It is how the world sees an individual or a team that acts consistently with integrity. And the contextual principle that served as the container for our integrity was the Three Musketeer policy of all for one, one for all. And this context formed the purpose that made our integrity serve a moral good. It became the scaffolding upon which we scaled our integrity. We implemented this in 2012, and 8 years later it proved its value in 2020 during the pandemic. Now, COVID-19 pandemic was a once-in-a-generation event that has left no one unscarred. And while I'm going to describe what we did that allowed us to keep ourselves and an entire community safe, I am acutely aware that not everyone was as fortunate as we were. During COVID-19 pandemic, 85 to 90% of the clinics in Northern Virginia shut their doors, while we remained open and functional and safe through the worst healthcare crisis of the century. We used the all for one, one for all policy of the Three Musketeer policy as a contextual container for our created word, I am my brother's keeper. And standing from that position, we innovated and improvised. I am my brother's keeper. We decided to keep both well and ill patients safe, so we separated them. Well patients were seen inside the office. We saw the sick patients in the parking lot inside their cars. Plastic sheets draped over the windows converted the cars into mobile patient isolation units. Battery-operated fans blew infective airflow back into the car, keeping ourselves and others safe while we worked with the patients with just our hands in the vehicle. I am my brother's keeper. We needed to keep ourselves and each other safe, so we created a two-person buddy work system. One person would work with the patient in the car. The other person would stand by and watch for any break in infection control protocol. The slightest exposure, lapse, a torn glove, whatever, was immediately handled right then and there with a spray of disinfectant upon them. I am my brother's keeper. Many patients were too sick to come to the office, but not ill enough to be hospitalized. So we took ourselves into the community in the form of COVID house calls with a twist. Camping shower tents became mobile changing rooms that we erected on their driveways, changed into our gear, and as we entered and exited these residences. And these and other innovations allowed us to take our infection control protocol and all our tools and capacities right into the community in environments where we did not have full control over the environment. And yet we remained safe. And looking back, it seems simple, but these and many more pivots emerged out of our declarative word, I am my brother's keeper, and our ability to keep our word, clean up the impact when we broke it, restore it, and continue with our purpose, allowed us to keep a community of 100,000 individuals safe. Between March 2020 to July 2022, we performed over 100,000 COVID tests and treated over 10,000 COVID positive patients without any of us falling ill or contracting the disease, and we tested ourselves regularly for both symptomatic and asymptomatic exposures. Our clinic became an oasis in a healthcare desert. We saw 5 times more patients per doctor per day. Our professional reputation skyrocketed. Our personal satisfaction was incalculable. We survived and thrived during a period of incredible devastation and suffering. And it is because we survived such devastation that I'm standing here today before you sharing the idea that kept us all safe. When each person is committed to something greater than themselves and acts with integrity to that purpose, the system strengthens beyond measure, and that produces the ultimate moral good. We found that when you treat integrity as a condition for performance, it becomes an essential criterion for success. Breaking your word is costly for performance. It reduces power and degrades performance. It reduces trust and erodes teams. It reduces velocity and introduces a hidden friction into everyday work. It reduces scale and ultimately breaks the system. And therefore, we began to protect our word like the way engineers protect load-bearing beams. Before we did this, we had blame and shame, turf protection, reluctant promises, hesitation. And after we implemented it, we had ownership, resilience, clarity of purpose, and speed of execution. So here's my invitation to consider as a possibility. Maybe integrity is not so much about being good as it is about being whole, complete, intact with your word, restoring it when it breaks, and in a way that allows life to work. So maybe we can stop using integrity as a badge of virtue and start using it as a structural requirement for workable performance. The next time you break your word, don't explain it. Acknowledge it. Clean up the impact and restore it. And see if excellence emerges as a byproduct. Thank you.